Hi guys, hi to everyone logging in. So today we're going to be doing a table styling class. Just waiting for everyone to log in. Hello to everyone. Hello Anju auntie. Hi to everyone who's logging in. We'll be starting very shortly. Just give us 2 minutes. We're just starting. And today Hey guys, so my name is Ashna Singh Saran and I run a wedding design company called Ash Studio. Today we're doing a takeover from the Shadi Saga page where we're going to teach you how to make your dinner table look pretty during Corona. It's a very difficult time. So, maybe just using things around your house, putting them together, making dinner more special. We have Mother's Day just around the corner. So I thought that, there's no better time to do this than now. So we're going to start now with we have 2 looks planned for you today. And we're going to start with the first look very soon. Okay, so for the first look, sorry, I'm just turning my camera. Okay, so for the first look today, we're going to do all things organic, all things pretty, things that you find around your house. What we're going to first do is start with your table setting. So the big question that we've got multiple times over is how do you set a table? So this is something very simple that we've done today. So what you generally do is put your spoon and fork on the right side and you then put, a knife on the left side. At this time, feel free to take out your best crockery, your cutlery, use it. There's no point of, storing it all inside. Take it out, use it, enjoy yourself. Make sure that these low times are not so low. Celebrate your birthday, celebrate your anniversary, whatever it may be. So for Isha, the dal and raita bowl would ideally go on the right side. Now so what we're going to do is I've put 2 glasses here today. So I've put this one, which is your water glass. Again, if you have a pretty water glass, that would be fun. This one I got from Good Earth and I always tend to love their stuff. So I put my glasses on the right side. So I've used a wine glass if you're going to be having a bit of wine or maybe a drink. And I've put my water glass. So this is ideally what it should look like. Coming to the details now, like what are things that make this special? So for example, this is the napkin that I have. Now, what I'm using is I have lots of rosemary and coriander at home. Now, additionally, if you have things, if you have maybe basil or maybe you find greens downstairs in your garden, you may want to get it from just downstairs that you're picking up or that a plant that you have at home, you could use that as well. And I'm going to use a jute rope. Now, jute rope is also known as sutli, and this is easily available in all your grocery stores and at your banyas. So what I'm going to do is, you basically fold your napkin into a square. Once you fold this napkin into a square, you basically turn it into a diamond shape. Once I've turned it here, I'm basically going to turn in the left and the right to make it something look like a triangle, and then you turn it around. Now, taking the jute rope that you've cut into a small piece, you go from under and you come over to tie a knot. So now you have your napkin looking like this. Now, to add a little bit of detail is where I'm actually going to bring in my rosemary or my coriander. So what I've done is I've taken a small piece of the rosemary on the side, and now I'm going to just slide it in very carefully into the knot that you've created. So once you do that, this is how your napkin would look. You could add actually a little bit more if you'd like. So this is one example where we've used rosemary to tie up your napkin, and then I'd done another one earlier on where I've used coriander, which is kothmeer. So these are things that are easily available at home and you don't really need to struggle with finding. After we do that, my next step is going to be, things, there are other, like when we look at a sit down dinner, when you look at these dinners, you want to make it as special as possible and you want to make it as detailed as possible. So what we've done in this case is, if a lot of you have printers at home, it's very easy to sort of type out a menu card. So this is, of course, if it's a special dinner, if it's your anniversary or it's your birthday. So if it's a special occasion and you want to take that extra step of creating maybe a menu card, then you could easily type it out. There are lots of apps as well on which you get templates and you can create them. So what we've done here is created a menu card. So generally where we suggest the menu goes is in the center of your plate, right? So this is how you would place your menu card. Now, the question would be, where does your napkin go? So what we suggest are two options. One is either you put it on top of the menu card. However, sometimes I feel that tends to obviously cover the center part. Or the second thing I suggest is taking it and just placing it on the right along with your knife. So you could either place it this way. So this is how the details start to bring up and how your table starts to look more and more like a sit-down dinner. For the next step, what I'm going to do is, how do you create name cards, right? Because that could be something interesting too. So what I've taken is just this brown paper that I had lying at home. What you could do is also take, you could take newspaper. If you had a gift bag at home and you were going to throw it, or you had a paper bag at home, you could easily cut it up. As long as the paper is slightly thick, you could easily cut it up and then create name tags. So what you need to do is cut it into a rectangle and then you need to fold it into half, right? So basically what happens is it tends to sit as a place card, which is just like that. Now, I wouldn't say, don't feel too pressured about it. Feel free to do whatever you'd like. And so what I'm going to do on this one is now, just with a felt pen that I had at home, I'm going to write my name. You can add a heart, you can add a flower. Just get creative and literally enjoy yourself. There's no need to make sure these things are perfect. It's all about being DIY and enjoying yourself through the process. Now my table is totally complete. So once we've finished with how to set your name card and your sort of table setting, we're going to go into the more decorative elements. So how do I make my table look really pretty? Because of course the problem is we're not getting so many flowers. Ideally that's what most people use. Most people tend to use flowers in their decor. Although they are available at online store called Trikaya. You can DM me for the details on my handle, which is Ash Studio. That's AASHSTUDIO. So you can follow me on that, send me a DM, and I will send you the link on how you can order your flowers. So what I've done for this particular table setting is found all the sort of greens and little plants that I had around the house. And I have used these jute table mats that I had. Again, feel free to use what you have at home. I've used these jute table mats. This is actually a fake, it's actually a fake plant. I had a money plant lying, which, I took a small cutting, I put it into a glass of water, and now it's grown into this. So I've used that in a fish bowl. This is a little succulent. I had dried some of these statice flowers, which I've added in this little sort of pot that I had at home. And this is another large plant. So for today's look, I've ideally and basically used blue and green as my color combinations. Now you can intersperse it with candles. So find all the candles that you have around you and start to place them in between your plants. And that's how my table is starting to look now. Also, another idea that you could do is if anyone has battery operated fairy lights, you could again take these and intersperse it. So what I'm going to do is just intersperse it between my plants. And you could intersperse it between your plants. Now the last step for this particular table setting is to add and light your candles. So I've taken these these tea light candles, which you could either use if you have a holder for them, well and good, or else you could just have them out on your table. And you can see with starting to light the candles, how the entire look of your table gets uplifted. There's a mood. If you have dimmers on your lights, start to dim them. And just, it's all about basically creating a mood and a setting. So again, feel free to use things that you have around you and at home. So yeah, guys, this is our first table setting. Thank you so much, Ragavi. Thank you for everyone who's sending in all their love and comments. Okay, so now we're going to start with our second look, which I think you guys are going to be pretty surprised with. It's basically using everything that you have in your kitchen. So if you're doing maybe something that is like Italian food, or if you're having like Italian for dinner, or you're doing pizza and pasta, this is a look that actually goes really, really well. So what I'm using in this case is I found these kitchen napkins at home. So I found two of them, this one and this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with laying my kitchen napkins as a table runner. So I'm going to use the two kitchen napkins in the center of my table. I'm just using the other side of my table at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the two napkins down. So you would ideally do this in the center of your table. And the next thing I'm going to do is use a chopping board, right? Who would think that you could use your chopping boards at home to create beautiful centerpiece decor? So I'm going to use my chopping boards, and then to add to that, I have got a tray of all the vegetables and fruits I could find in my pantry. So I'm going to start, again here you could feel free to use one of a small plant that you may have at home. So I'm going to start with adding a plant. And then through the center, I'm going to use my cauliflower, pomegranate, oranges, a little bit of my capsicum. So what this does basically is, if you don't have things at home to decorate your center table, you're literally using everything in your kitchen, without wasting it. It's sustainable, it's eco-friendly, it's inexpensive. So it really is a great solution to create something fun on your table. Now again here, I'm going to use a little bit of the rosemary and coriander that I had center. Also, what you can keep in mind is this is always something that you can use. So suppose you're having an Italian meal and you'd like to take the rosemary to if you'd like to take the rosemary to put on your pizza, put on your pasta, this is always a way whereby it could be very, very interactive. You could have your cut lemons, you could have your salad as a centerpiece. So there's a lot of different things that you could do with this. Okay, another fun thing you could do is I'm going to actually cut my pomegranate into half. See how beautiful that looks. And you could also cut your oranges. So you could squeeze the orange into your dressing of your salad. Just think that this is an Italian meal that you're serving. Now again, to add to that, I personally always love using candles. So I'm just taking the candles that I have and I'm going to add them between my look. So again, for this look, you could always do your you still do your plates in the same way, but what you do different here is your center that could be different. So you can experiment with basically anything and everything that you have at home. There is no stopping you guys when it comes to table styling. So yeah guys, these are the two looks that we've created. So the first was the blue greens with all the plants from your home, along with creating a menu. How do you do your name tag using brown paper? How do you tie up your napkins to add a bit of detail, and using all the greens and the plants around your house. And now for the second look, what we've done is using all the vegetables, fruits, candles that you have around your house, including your chopping board, to make this beautiful center table styling look come together. Now we're going to start with a bunch of questions. I have Shruti from Shadi Saga who's going to join me. Guys, please ask all the questions that you want. If you have things at home and don't know how to use them, we're here to help you. Please send me all your queries on our page, which is Ash Studio. You could also send them in at Shadi Saga. We now have Shruti joining us, and we have questions we're going to answer for you guys. Thank you. Hi, Shruti.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? We hope you enjoyed the session.
Yes, it looks so beautiful. My God, I can't wait to do that with my table. It's my mom dad's anniversary tomorrow, so I'm definitely going to do something like this for them. It was really gorgeous.
That's amazing. Please send pictures, and I'm sure there are a lot of people here who will try it too. And yes, we have Mother's Day right around the corner on Sunday. So all the moms that are watching, if your children don't do this for you, maybe you can do it for yourself and make your day special.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys, if you have any questions that you want to ask, anything decor related, please feel free to send them in the comments, and Ashna should answer them. All right, let's start with the first question. So the most asked question that we get is for a bridal entry idea. So a lot of brides want to know how can they make their entry grand and beautiful. What should they do? The thinking that should go behind it, or anything that you like to say on that?
I think for bridal entries, it's all very personal, right? So there are brides that come to us who say, we want to have a bridal barat, we want to come in dancing, we want to come in fun. But then, we also have brides who come in who are what I like to call shy brides, and, girls who like to walk in with a little bit more sort of grace and more sort of, looking down, and they want the typical
Yes.
songs like your Kabiras and, these sort of songs that I feel really leave an impact. Something interesting that we recently did at a wedding, which I thought was, for me, it's been one of my favorite entries, and it's actually how I entered as well at my wedding.
Oh, okay.
So we had these fire chanters that came in from Banaras, the typical guys who do the Ganga
Yes.
Aarti.
Yes.
And as I walked in, they did the Ganga Aarti and they followed me. So I thought that was something very impactful.
And something very unique also, actually.
Yeah, it's something very unique. It's something very impactful. And I still remember so clearly, like when I sat on the mandap, because I planned my own wedding. So not only was I a bride, but I had planned it. I'd done the decor. It was absolutely crazy.
So much pressure you must have
So
had.
much. And I was literally sitting at the mandap, and I looked down into where all the guests were, and every single one, and I mean it, and that's every single guest had taken out their phones and was taking, like sort of recording it. And I sat on the mandap, and I literally thought to myself, I was like, oh my God, I've done
Pat
it.
on your back.
Yeah, I was like, this was all worth it. So yeah, I think that was something very interesting.
Also, a lot of people want to, usually what brides want in their entries, as you said, those beautiful songs, as well as those Phoolo Ka Chadar.
Yeah, of course. So
Yes.
Phoolo Ka Chadar is something that goes way back. There's lots of sentiment attached to it.
Yes.
It's something extremely traditional, and also, like, it's like inherently a big part of Punjabi culture, actually. So
Yeah. All right. Another question is that so when should brides to be or like couples in general start deciding about the decor of the wedding? Like how much prior to the wedding should they start with all of this?
So for me, I always think the sooner, the better, because the more that that's how much more time you get to spend on the details that you want, right? So you really get to then ideate and think about it, because I feel a wedding is an extremely stressful time. You're doing everything from clothes to jewelry to decor to food, menus. There's so much pressure at home. You want to spend time with family. So I feel like if you do have your date well in advance, and there's no harm in starting, because I feel you can get as much in as possible. At the same time, I mean, if I just had to give you like very sort of tight deadline, I think at least 3 months prior is what we would think.
And
I think we have a few questions coming in as well.
Okay, adding to what I asked you, also, like, how should they decide how the decor for the wedding should be? Like, what can they do in order to know clearly that this is what I want? Because if they come with a lot of ideas to you, then it's difficult for you also to, like,
of course. So basically, yeah, we do have brides and grooms who come in with, a whole set of ideas that they have, and this is what I want. There's so much sort of exposure now. People are seeing things on Pinterest, on blog posts.
Right.
So a lot of the times we do have brides who come in with, sort of knowing what they want. But I feel the reason we're here is sort of to take your ideas and turn them not only into a reality, but how can we make these ideas better? How can we make them different?
Right.
How do we make these ideas that you didn't get off Pinterest, right? So you can take the inspiration, but the point is not to use and copy, right? So that's something we strongly do not believe in. We believe in like taking ideas, changing them around, seeing what you can do with them. So we do create different presentations for clients. If they have an idea, we can probably give them like up to 3-4 different mood boards.
Right.
And then it's a process of brainstorming. It's a process of showing them samples, showing them the details, things that we have in our go down, and then creating the look finally from that.
Yes. Okay, let's pick up questions. Bhavna is asking, how important is it to coordinate outfits with your decor?
So this is a question that we get a lot. How do you coordinate outfits and decor? I actually am of a very, very different opinion. I do not find it extremely important to coordinate your outfits and your decor. So, I mean, of course, you don't want to be looking sort of like a Christmas tree. You don't want to have red decor and you're wearing a green
Yes.
outfit. I agree. But at the same time, we have a lot of brides who say that, I'm wearing a red lehenga, so I don't want to do red decor, for example.
Yes.
But the way that we work is I myself wore a red lehenga and did red decor. So I use like, more than like thousands of red roses. And for me, I wanted it to be like red and traditional and that typical Indian royal wedding. So I actually feel the bride always stands out. And there are ways in which that once we see the bride's outfits and she sends us pictures, which we always recommend our brides to do, that's also when we keep that in mind and design accordingly. But again, I don't feel that just because your decor say yellow and orange for your mehendi, you can't wear a yellow lehenga.
Yes. I think it's all about using the same color scheme, something that matches the same color scheme.
Sorry?
I feel like it's important that the color scheme is the same, and then you can obviously play around with colors. So suppose if you're taking like a yellow, you could wear like an orange, a green, a blue. There's so many colors that go with it. So I think it's all about
complement it. Exactly.
Complementing colors. Yes.
I think we're getting quite a few questions on Corona. How do I think the season is going to be?
Yeah.
What is the wedding industry going to be? So of course, these are very, very difficult times, and Corona has come as a shock to the entire world, not just India or the wedding industry. So I think the problem is a lot larger than what we're facing right now on hand. Now I feel the wedding industry is obviously changing. There is so much talk about it being, is it going to get virtual? Are we going to be doing virtual weddings? Is that something that's normal?
Yes.
I was also discussing that with my husband and my sister yesterday, just saying that, we may move into a more virtual space. And for both of them to sort of understand it was so difficult because, they were like, why would you get married at this time? Why would you not go out? But at the same time, I strongly feel that, there are brides and grooms who want to get married. There are people who live in different cities. There are people who are like crunched on time. So I feel weddings are going to happen in the time of Corona. Post-lockdown, of course, but I think the virus is still going to be there. Definitely weddings are getting smaller. I don't think more than 50 to 60 people weddings would be allowed. A second thing is they're going to be in more intimate spaces, right? So maybe I do a function at my house, maybe I do it on my terrace or in my garden. You will be looking at maybe hotels, but again, that's going to be under a lot of sort of strict measures, making sure sanitation is done. And not just that, right? It's not also just about social distancing. It's, once you get into it, there's such small intricacies and details, like how would you serve the food? How is the staff going to react there? Because at the end of the day, what I think people don't realize is the number of people that are involved in making a wedding happen. Everything from your decor team to your catering team. So there's a lot that goes in, but I definitely feel that we are coming up with solutions on how to make weddings, even though they're virtual. We are coming up with solutions on how to make them interactive, how to make them fun. So I think very, very soon there will be a solution to this. And it's not going to be ideal. I mean, I think the most ideal thing would be to have a full-on fun wedding with everyone you wanted there. But we're trying to come up with a solution to make sure it's as sort of intimate and as possible.
Right. So as you just spoke about that weddings are going to be intimate and a lot of people are going to take a lot of precautions for it. So could you suggest some home decor ideas for a small function, if someone's having it at home?
Yeah. So it's actually part of the solution that we're creating, where we may start sending out boxes to guests, to people who want to do decor at home. So where you can sort of message us or email us and we'll send you a box which can, you can easily do up your house. But something like I said today about how, maybe using like fruits and vegetables, again, depending on what the event is in your house, whether you use like fruits and vegetables for the center of the table or you bring plants, if you have fake flowers at home, you know, there are these small things
Yeah.
that you can do to start to design your house.
Right. Also, a lot of people have their weddings at night. So, what are some night decor ideas that you think would really pop up on a for a night wedding?
So I think something that would be very easy to do right now is if you have lots of fairy lights, if
Yeah.
you have bulbs, if you have dim lighting at home, using like lots and lots of candles. Again, tea lights and stuff are available. I know things are difficult right now, but if you look in the right places, and if you, like, you know, so I got my tea lights just from my banya. So he had them,
Yeah.
and so I got really lucky there. So I'm saying you can, I think lots of candles would be ideal for something at night. And if you get flowers, then of course there's nothing like
Nothing
flowers.
like it. Yes, definitely. Basically, using things that you already have lying around at home
Oh.
and
And
just to be smart about it.
yeah. I think one last thing that we wanted to do with you guys was the DIY of, you know, how to do something at home and to make your dinner tables pretty. So,
Yes.
for example, if you are doing a wedding at home, this is like a DIY that we have thought of. In terms of how do you, you know, like use things around your house to make your wedding happen. And this would be for more like a boho type of wedding, again,
Right.
depending on what your house looks like.
Right.
So basically, what we're doing today is um, we have, you know, so if anyone has like these little jars at home, so you can have a jar from honey or some dips that you had or these type of
Yes.
mason jars. It could be any sort of glass container. So what I've done is I've taken a mason jar that I had at home, and I have again jute rope. So now again, jute rope is something that's very easily available. It's all
Right.
sutti. You could again get this at your grocery store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with holding this towards the top,
Right.
and just you know, you just need to start wrapping around your pot
Okay. All the way through.
all the way around. Okay, so you don't actually even need any tape or anything at this point. You just need,
Right.
if you even wrapped your rope around the starting point twice, that would be enough. So what I'm going to do is really quickly start wrapping my rope. I hope you guys can see. I'm just wrapping my rope around the mason jar. And actually what I'm doing today is I'm not even wrapping the entire mason jar. So I am only going to wrap half my mason jar.
Right.
Now, the reason for that is you'll see very soon how you can use this for two uses. So I've wrapped it halfway around. At the end point, if you have a glue gun, there's nothing a glue gun can't fix. But if you don't, and I don't actually, so I'm just going to use a little bit of scotch tape.
Right.
So I'm going to take the scotch tape and I will just put it there at the end. So you can take, I mean, of course, something else. If you have something that's sticky, like a glue drop or anything, that would be much better. So what I have right now is this mason jar that I've only wrapped half the way with my jute rope. Now this has two uses. So I have these greens lying around the house. So these are fake. Again, you can get them from downstairs. You know, you're walking on the street and you find some leaves. I've seen so many flowers lying on the floor. Of course, if you want to come home and sanitize it and be a little careful, that would be ideal. So what I'm going to, so the first use that I have is I'm just going to put these greens here. So now what you have is a little pretty pot with that detail added on it, because especially if this is for you getting married at home or having a function at home, you want to add in that little bit extra touch. So this is one solution. But another very interesting way that you could use this is, again, if you have your tea light candles. So I would just take a tea light and you light that.
Right.
And instead of, instead of putting the greens, so you can take out the greens. And the other option would be of just dropping a tea light. So now you've used this as, something to
Yeah.
light candles, and then maybe if you
Yes.
could try to find many of these. So if you use many
Probably even
different,
put fairy lights inside. It looks so nice.
yeah, you can. I actually have fairy lights here, but my batteries are not working. So this is another option. So if you have fairy lights at home which are battery operated and work, oh, they do work, yay. So what you could do again is, sort of wrap up the fairy lights in a little cluster or bundle. And the third thing you could do, which is simple, is put your
Fairy lights inside.
fairy lights inside as well. And you could have these all around your house, and
Yes.
it just gives such a sort of pretty touch, especially if this is at night.
Definitely. That was great. Wow.
Thank you.
Guys, if you have any more questions to ask, please send them in.
Yeah. Someone has said pineapple leaves also may be used. I think, yeah, pineapples are always great for decor. They were really trending, I think, maybe some time ago, and it was something very fun that people were doing. So I think pineapples is something great. Also, it's all about being sustainable. I think it's all about like reusing everything you have. I don't think people have the sentiment where you just want to go out and spend lots of money, because this is not the time. This is the time where people are saving, which is why I really love the concept of using things around you. I love the concept of using fruits and vegetables, which is everything that I can, after doing up my table, it's everything I can take back into my kitchen and cook a yummy meal with tomorrow. You don't want to be wasting at this point in time.
Would that be? This someone else should answer probably.
Yeah.
All right. So I think those were the questions. Yep. All right. Thank you so much. It was a fab session. The DIY was. I'm honestly going to try it, and if I do end up clicking pictures, I will tag you in it.
Of course. So, and I'm gonna send you guys some pictures, which we can be up on the Shadi Saga page, and people can have a look and ask any questions that they like.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ashna. It was so much fun having you.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.